Okay. So I hope you did some digging into these two uh, organizations. So the first one was the Brookings Institute, and you can see that I'm looking at the Brookings Institution webpage page on Wikipedia. And so this is a good start, right? Wikipedia is a good start, and I'm hoping that you saw that Brookings is a research group or think tank. It's the oldest in the country. It conducts research on economics, policy, and global issues. Experts in different policy areas conduct research and write reports for Brookings. It's sometimes viewed as liberal, but it is the most frequently cited think tank in the media and cited almost as often by conservative leaning news outlets as liberal leaning news outlets. So, uh, and you can see here on that it earned a 53 on a 0 to 100 scale of liberal politicians. So it's pretty balanced, right? Some people think of it as liberal, but it seems to be pretty balanced um, in terms of who they're getting, who is writing for them, and also who is citing the information from them. So Brookings Institution would be a good source if you were writing about any of the topics that they cover. This is a good strong source, both in terms of neutrality, but also in terms of just credibility and being a trusted organization. So hopefully that's the conclusion you also came to about the Brookings Institution. The second article you had was by the Center for Immigration Studies. This one's a little more complicated. So we start again with Wikipedia, and we see that CIS is a research organization that advocates for much less immigration to the U.S. Its anti-immigration stance makes it controversial. So again, everybody has a bias. This is another. This is a think tank that is specifically uh, trying to do research and find information that is on the side of limiting immigration. So anytime you are already starting with your conclusion before you do your research, that makes your research less credible. That makes it a little suspect and questionable, right? Um, so that's one thing. So it's controversial for that reason. We see here in this bottom part here, the bottom of this opening piece about the Center for Immigration Studies, that the Southern Poverty Law Center designated CIS as a hate group with ties to the American nativist movement. But if we look into that a little bit more and we look at PolitiFact, we search PolitiFact for the Center for Immigration Studies. PolitiFact has in their research, they said they call them that the Southern Poverty Law Center calls them a hate group, but we have this part here, right? We found the case against the center is based on some of its associations rather than its current work, but we want readers to review the evidence for themselves. So controversial and has been attacked as a possible hate group, but PolitiFact says that's maybe overstating the case, right? The fact that the Southern Poverty Law Center calls it a hate group doesn't mean that it's true. And so actually their work is maybe a little more balanced than they're getting credit for by being attacked. So mainly with this one, you would just want to be careful because what you do know is that it has an anti-immigration stance. So it's going to be skewed. So again, same as the source we were talking about earlier, if you're going to use it as research, you want to make sure that you're very clear that you know that it has this bias, and you probably want to balance it out with other sources. But also you could just avoid the controversy altogether and go with more neutral sources. But it's all about the context and about how you're using a source. Just what you want to be able to do when you are using lateral reading is to understand the credibility of a source on a scale, right? And so if the scale is going to go from completely credible, completely neutral, which is very rarely going to be achieved by anybody, all the way up to like fake news, making up stuff, a think tank and an organization with a very clear bias towards a certain type of story, a certain type of information, a conclusion that they've already established and are searching for research to back up, is going to be somewhere, off of the far credible end of that scale, but not all the way to the most untrustworthy end of that scale either. So you just have to think about, for your purposes, how credible do you need the source to be?